Chapter 34. A disaster seldom comes alone. German proverb. My tears had dried by the time I told Fritz the story shortly afterward, which was a good thing because he wasn't showing much sympathy for whether I held on to a friend I was going to abandon soon anyway. His larger concern was for the dirt on Anna's boots. "Are you sure the mud was on different boots than when she came to see us before?" "Positive. The mud wasn't that old, not over a day, I'd bet." "You should have asked her about it." "Asked her what exactly?" I retorted. "If she knows about the tunnel? If she's going to turn us into the Stasi?" Because I didn't need to say a word. The answer to both questions is pretty obvious. "Okay, calm down." Fritz and I were in the basement of our own apartment building. This was our new sanctuary, since Frau Eberhardt patrolled the sidewalks, and since we weren't yet sure which was more dangerous inside our own apartment, the microphones or Mama. We have to assume that Anna knows, and that sooner or later she's going to tell someone. Whether it's the Stasi or not, it'll eventually get back to them. "Mueller will come with them." My voice wavered, revealing too much of my fear of him. "He already told us what he'll do when that happens." "Then we have to finish. Fast." Fritz paced a moment, then finally sighed and shook his head. "Did you get a chance to measure the death strip?" "Sort of. Anna came in before I'd finished, but I got a good start. It was hard because I got distracted a couple of times and I thought, "How wide?" 100 meters. Fritz let out a low whistle and almost staggered to a nearby crate where he could sit down. "We're not even halfway." He cursed and kicked at another box next to him. Hoping to keep his spirits up, I said, "Let's dig it smaller then. We can walk that distance hunched over or even crawl through." "That'll help," Fritz said. "But we need to take weeks off our time, not days. What if we ask Officer Mueller to dig with us?" "We can't trust him. He told us that himself." I shook my head fiercely. With a shovel in one hand and a gun in the other, which will he use when Anna calls the officers to check out the tunnel? "You told me that you got distracted," Fritz said. "Maybe you were off on your count." "I might be off by a few meters, but not 20 or 30. And I know I was accurate almost to the halfway point because there was this dark spot in the strip, almost where our tunnel ended. For the first time, I thought about the chance of that. Of a dark spot so close to the tunnel. That couldn't be a coincidence. Fritz had caught on as well. "What do you mean, a dark spot?" "I saw it from far away, and that's just what it looked like at the time." My breaths became shallow as I realized what I must have seen. "But I don't think it's a spot. It might be a shadow. I think the ground is sinking where we've dug it." Fritz leapt to his feet. "Come on, we've got to go and see it for ourselves." Even as I followed him, I said, "We're not allowed to go there. Mama doesn't—" "There's no time to explain." "If the tunnel collapses while we're inside, or if the Grenzers notice the dark spot and come to investigate," I shuddered. "Either way, we're dead." The only exception that I could see was if Mama figured out we had gone to the tunnel in defiance of her orders. Then we wouldn't have to worry about the Grenzers. She'd get to us first and do worse than the police ever could. Fritz and I hurried along the street, got to the block that emptied into the back lot for the Welcome Building, and then crept along the wall to get inside. I wished we could just peek through the wall from here, carve out a hole big enough to see if we had left our own X marks the spot for our secret beneath that ground. But we would have to content ourselves with entering the tunnel and looking for any sign that the ground was sinking. My biggest worry was that from within the tunnel, the collapse wouldn't be noticeable. If we couldn't find it, then we couldn't fix it. I scanned the roof of the tunnel. Instantly, everything became suspicious to me. Why was one area lower than elsewhere? Exposed rock jutted out overhead and to my left. Was it new? So far, everything looked how it had when he dug this section, Fritz assured me. But that didn't make me feel any better. We finally found the sunken area at the end of the tunnel, around where the pipe had been nicked. Endless liters of water had sprayed so powerfully here, we probably should have expected it to affect the ground stability overhead. "We'll be caught for sure," Fritz said. Maybe Officer Mueller can explain it away. I didn't necessarily believe he would, but maybe it was the best of the few horrible options we still had. How deep did the dark spot look? I don't know, I answered. Not very, but it does look different from the area around it. Maybe we can brace it up, or at least do something to keep it from falling any further. How? Fritz already had the answer. I'm a bricklayer. I can build supports overhead, maybe even raise some places if the ground is still soft enough. But the brick will be expensive and too suspicious to purchase. There's brick upstairs, I said. Maybe even a bag of mortar, too. Then I'll get started right away, Fritz said. Help me get it carried downstairs. I was already on my way.